Welcome back to the deep dive. I want to start today by putting you in a very specific, very frustrating headspace.
Okay.
Imagine you've just graduated. You have the degree, the energy, you have the desire to work. You go to a job site, you click on a listing that says entry level, and then you see it. The dreaded line 3.
Requires 3 to 5 years of relevant industry experience.
Exactly. And you just want to scream at the screen, how am I supposed to get experience if you won't give me a job to get the experience?
Right.
It is the classic paradox. It's the gatekeeper that keeps so much talent locked out of the workforce.
It is the ultimate catch-22 of the modern labor market. And it's not just annoying, it is economically dangerous. We have a generation of young people, capable, educated people stuck in this loop.
But today, we are looking at a project that it claims to have found a backdoor into that loop. It's a European initiative called NXT 2.0. And their premise is honestly kind of refreshing. They think the answer to this massive employment gap has been hiding in plain sight, disguised as something we usually think of as, well, just doing good.
That's right. We are unpacking NXT 2.0, volunteering paths leading to successful careers. It's an Erasmus Plus project, but, don't let the bureaucratic name fool you.
Right.
This is a really ambitious attempt to re-engineer how we think about the early stages of a career.
The core idea here seems to be shifting the narrative. We usually talk about volunteering as charity, giving back.
Sure.
But NXT 2.0 is saying, no, this is about getting ahead.
Exactly. They aren't approaching this from a purely moral standpoint. This is about utility.
Yeah.
They are trying to build a systemic bridge that proves volunteering, specifically through the European Solidarity, or ESC, is not just a gap year to find yourself.
Right, not just a nice thing to do.
No, it is a legitimate professional launchpad that should be recognized by employers.
And legitimate is the key word there. We've got a stack of source material here detailing how 5 organizations from Portugal, Lithuania, Spain, Romania, and Italy are teaming up to solve this. Yeah. And they aren't just writing a manifesto, they're building software, training manuals, and media campaigns.
It's a transnational coalition, which is crucial because the labor market is transnational now. If you're a young person in Lisbon, you're competing with talent in Berlin or remote workers in Bucharest.
So the solution has to be
A solution to youth unemployment has to be scalable across borders. It just has to.
Before we get into the cool tech they're building, and there is some cool tech, I want to pause on the name. Next 2.0. That obviously implies there was an NXT 1.0.
There was, yeah. The original NXT project, it kind of laid it established the baseline argument that volunteering helps employability.
Yeah.
But NXT 2.0 is taking that theory and trying to operationalize it. The source material highlights a needs analysis they conducted, and it really sets the stage for why this 2.0 version is necessary.
What did they find?
They identified 3 massive disconnects in the current system.
Let's walk through those, because I think understanding the problem is the only way to appreciate the solution.
So the first disconnect is on the youth side. It turns out young people are terrible at translating their own experiences.
What do you mean by translating?
Well, let's create a hypothetical volunteer. We'll call him Alex. Alex spends, say, 6 months in a rural village helping to organize a youth center.
Okay.
During that time, he has to manage a small budget. He has to coordinate a team of other volunteers who maybe don't speak his language. And he has to negotiate with the local mayor to get permits for events.
Okay, so Alex is basically running a small business or a department. That's management, logistics, and government relations.
Exactly. But when Alex sits down to write his CV for a corporate job, what does he write? He writes, volunteered at youth center, played games with kids.
Ouch. Yeah, I see that. He lists the role for the activity, but not the skill.
That is the translation gap. He doesn't write crisis management, cross-cultural communication, or resource allocation. He undersells himself because he doesn't know the corporate vocabulary.
And what's the second disconnect?
That's on the employer side. Specifically, small and medium enterprises, or SMEs and NGOs, these organizations are desperate for soft skills.
Right.
They can teach you how to use their specific inventory software in a week, but they cannot teach you resilience. They can't teach you how to not melt down when a plan falls apart.
They want problem solvers. But they don't know how to spot those problem solvers just by looking at a university transcript.
Precisely. They see volunteer on a resume and they think, nice person, not tested leader.
And the third one.
And the third disconnect is what we call the silos. You have the education sector, universities and vocational schools. You have the business sector. And you have the youth sector, the NGOs.
And let me guess, they aren't talking to each other.
They are speaking 3 distinct languages. The university teaches theory. The business complains the graduates aren't ready. The NGO is over in the corner doing great work that nobody in the business world understands. They rarely coordinate.
So NXXT 2.0 is basically trying to be the universal translator between those 3 groups.
That's a perfect way to put it. Their goal is to professionally validate the volunteering experience. They want to make active citizenship a recognized professional asset.
I really like that term, active citizenship.
It's powerful, isn't it?
Yeah, it sounds so much more powerful than volunteering. It implies agency.
It implies you're a stakeholder in society. And if you think about it, participating in society, navigating different cultures, solving real-world problems with limited resources, that develops the exact adaptability employers are screaming for.
Okay, so let's get into the how. They've broken this down into what they call work packages, which is very EU project speak.
It is.
But essentially they have 3 main pillars: tech, training, and storytelling. Let's start with the tech. This is the interactive career mapping platform.
This is work package 2, and this is where we see the innovation coming into play.
Now, I have to play devil's advocate for a second. The internet is littered with job boards. LinkedIn, Indeed, Monster.
Okay.
Do we really need another platform?
I have the same skepticism, but looking at the specs, this isn't a job board in the traditional sense. It's tailored specifically for the European Solidarity Corps ecosystem.
How so?
It's designed to generate what they call an interactive CV.
An interactive CV. How does that work?
Imagine an algorithm for your experience. The platform is designed to help the user, our friend Alex from earlier map, where his specific volunteer activities fit into the real economy.
Okay.
So he inputs the raw data. I organized a community food drive. The system helps match that input with specific career pathways and competencies.
So it does the translation for him. It tells him, hey, that food drive, that's actually supply chain logistics and event management.
Precisely. And it creates a personalized pathway. It might say, based on what you've done, you're 80% qualified for a role in project coordination. Here are the resources or trainings you need to close that 20% gap.
That is the aha moment. It takes the vague cloud of experience and turns it into data.
It does.
Who is building this? Because that sounds like it needs some serious back-end work.
It's being led by a partner called Efektas, based in Lithuania.
Tell me about Efektas. Why are they the right ones for this job?
Well, Efektas specializes in non-formal education, but they have a strong focus on digital skills and neuro-linguistic programming.
Neuro-linguistic programming. That sounds intense for a career website.
It basically means they understand how people process information in language, so they're the perfect fit because they understand the target demographic, 18 to 30-year-olds.
Right.
If this platform feels like a bureaucratic government tax form, Gen Z is going to log out in 3 seconds.
Absolutely. The user experience, the UX, has to be seamless.
Right. Efektas is ensuring that the platform isn't just a database of what I did last summer, it's a tool for growth. It needs to feel like a modern consumer tech, product intuitive, fast, and actually helpful.
Okay, so we have the tech platform to help the youth translate their skills. But tech is only as good as the input. That brings us to the second pillar, which seems to address that silo problem you mentioned. The conflict between what schools teach and what businesses want.
This is work package 3, and honestly, this is the heavy lifting of the project. It involves actual human connection. It's the toolkit of cross-sector collaboration workshops.
Cross-sector collaboration. It sounds a bit dry, but when you read the description, it's actually kind of radical.
It really is.
They're forcing people into a room who usually avoid each other.
It's a forced collision, yes. This is led by Arabal from Spain. They are based in Malaga, and they've been around since 1992 working on social inclusion and employment. They know the gritty reality of the job market.
So set the scene for me. Who is in these workshops?
They are bringing together the NGOs, the youth workers, plus educational institutions like universities and VET schools, and crucially, the SMEs, the actual businesses.
That sounds like a recipe for an argument. You've got the professor teaching theory, the business owner complaining the graduates aren't ready.
Exactly. And the youth worker trying to advocate for soft skills.
Right.
That friction is the point. The goal isn't just to network, it's to debate. They are trying to define exactly what soft skills are missing in the current market.
So the businesses provide the demand.
Yes. We need people who can collaborate across departments. The youth workers then say, okay, we can design volunteer activities that specifically teach that.
It creates a feedback loop.
Exactly. And the output of this loop is the toolkit. It's a practical manual with non-formal educational activities. But these aren't random team-building games.
Oh.
These are activities designed to forge the specific skills that the SMEs in the room requested.
So Arable is essentially building the curriculum for the School of Volunteering, but the syllabus is written by the employers.
That is a perfect analogy. And because Arable works so closely with entrepreneurs, they are injecting that entrepreneurial mindset into the toolkit. It teaches youth not just to be employees, but to have entrepreneurship, the ability to create value within an organization.
So we have the Map the Tech from Lithuania, we have the Compass the Toolkit from Spain, but there's a third component. You can have the best tools in the world, but if young people don't see themselves in that narrative, they won't show up.
That brings us to the storytelling aspect. This is the marketing problem, work package 4.
The ambassador videos.
Right, and this is being led by DGT in Romania.
DGT stands for Do Great Things, right? Which, side note, is just fantastic branding.
It is. DGT is very plugged into the digital world. They know that you cannot reach a 19-year-old with a 40-page PDF report. You reach them with video.
But I want to clarify something here. We've all seen volunteer videos that look like travel vlogs.
Oh, yeah.
I went to Italy, I ate pizza, I painted a wall, it was sunny. Is that what they're making?
Well, good. No, and that is the crucial distinction. Those travel vlog videos actually hurt the cause sometimes because they reinforce the idea that volunteering is just a holiday.
I see.
DGT is producing testimonials that focus specifically on the professional impact.
So more like, I went to Italy, I managed a budget of 5,000 euros, I resolved the conflict between 2 team members, and that experience is exactly why I got hired as a project manager.
Exactly. It is social proof. They're interviewing real European Solidarity Corps volunteers to create a library of these stories. And the target audience here is very specific. They are trying to reach the NEETs.
N-E-E, not in education, employment, or training.
This is the demographic that keeps policymakers awake at night. These are young people who have fallen off the map. They aren't in school, they aren't working, they're often disengaged, discouraged.
And skeptical of formal institutions, they probably aren't listening to university recruiters or looking at LinkedIn.
They definitely aren't. But they might listen to a peer. If they see someone who looks like them, talks like them, maybe comes from a similar background, explaining how volunteering got them unstuck, that is powerful. It breaks down the psychological barrier that says, success is for other people, not for me.
It's the see the be it factor.
And DGT has the network to get these videos in front of the right eyeballs. They aren't just making the content, they are the distribution engine.
I want to zoom out and look at the team itself. We've mentioned Lithuania, Spain, and Romania. But there are 2 other key players in this consortium that we can't ignore.
We absolutely have to mention the coordinator, Bonespe from Portugal.
The glue holding the operation together.
Every complex project needs a steady hand at the wheel. Bonespe brings the institutional memory. Remember, they ran the first NXT project. They know the pitfalls, they understand the administration, and they have a deep focus on risk prevention and mobility. Without a strong coordinator, a transnational project like this usually collapses under its own weight.
And then there's the final partner, the one from Italy, Scambirpo.
The powerhouse. If DGT is the production studio, Scambirpo is the broadcaster.
I saw a number in the notes that shocked me. Their portal gets over 800,000 views per month.
It is massive. In the NGO world, that is viral territory. They have over 100,000 followers on Facebook. They specialize in youth active citizenship and media.
That's significant because usually these EU projects produce great tools that sit on a website nobody visits.
Exactly. Build it and they will come. Does not work on the internet. You need a megaphone. Scambirpo is the megaphone. They ensure that the tools Efektas builds and the stories DGT films actually reach a continent-wide audience.
It really is like a heist team where everyone has a specific superpower. You've got the tech wizard,
Effective.
the entrepreneur,
Wearable.
the influencer, Scambirpo, the storyteller, DGT, and the mastermind, Bonespe.
That synergy is the secret sauce of this project. No single organization could do all of this, and frankly, no single country could do it. The problem of youth unemployment is European, so the solution has to be European. It allows for a diversity of cultural approaches to employment, which is vital.
So let's bring this back to the listener. We've talked about the plan, the tools, and the team, but what is the actual impact? If this project succeeds, who actually wins?
Well, the primary winner is obviously the youth. They get a roadmap. Instead of volunteering being a black box where they go in and hope something good happens,
Yeah?
they get a transparent process. Do this service. Use the platform to map skills. Use the toolkit to refine skills. Get the job.
It demystifies the early career path. It turns a vague experience into a concrete asset. What about the youth workers, the mentors?
They win too. The project includes what they call an LTTA, a learning, teaching, training activity in Portugal. This is about upgrading the profession of youth worker.
Moving them from chaperone to career coach.
Exactly. They get trained on how to use these new tools to better mentor youth. It gives them a structured way to help their volunteers succeed after the project ends.
And the businesses, the SMEs we talked about.
This is the part I find most interesting from an economic perspective. This project essentially de-risks hiring for them.
How so?
Think about it. If a candidate comes to you with a validated profile from this platform showing they completed an ESC stint, you know something about them. You know they can show up. You know they can adapt. You know they can work in a team. That is a massive signal that cuts through the noise of 1,000 generic resumes.
It's a quality filter.
And it's a filter that promotes inclusion. The source material emphasizes that these tools are designed for people with fewer opportunities, economic obstacles, geographical isolation.
Right.
It helps level the playing field for the kid who doesn't have a rich uncle to get him an internship at a law firm.
One thing that always worries me with grant-funded projects is sustainability. You know, the money runs out, the website goes dark, and the tools disappear. Is that a risk here?
It's always a risk, but NXT 2.0 seems to have planned for it. The platform, the toolkit, the videos, these are digital assets.
Right.
They don't cost much to keep online once they're built. But more importantly, the partners are integrating these tools into their daily workflows.
So Arable is going to keep using the workshops even after the grant ends.
Right, and ScamBRP will keep using the content. It becomes part of their organizational DNA, not just a one-off event. They're trying to change the culture, and once culture changes, it tends to stick.
It feels like they're trying to rebrand the very concept of volunteering.
That is the ultimate goal. They want to validate the idea that soft skills, empathy, adaptability, resilience are actually the hard skills of the future economy.
That's a fascinating shift. We spend so much time telling kids to learn to code.
And coding is great, but AI is getting very good at coding. AI is not very good at navigating a complex social conflict in a community center in rural Romania.
Right.
That human ability to connect and solve problems, that is becoming the premium asset.
So this isn't just about helping a few kids get jobs. It's about restructuring how we view education and experience in the age of AI.
Absolutely. It transforms volunteering from a nice-to-have on a resume into a must-have career accelerator.
Yeah.
It validates the human experience as a professional asset.
I want to leave our listeners with a thought as we wrap up. We started with that paradox, needing experience to get a job.
I have a provocative thought for you to mull over. We usually think of volunteering as unpaid work or charity. But what if we started viewing it as alternative professional education?
Like a degree.
Exactly. Imagine a world where a year of service in the Solidarity Corps is viewed by recruiters with the same respect as a year in business school.
Wow.
If the soft skills gained there, resilience, leadership, grit, are what companies actually need, why shouldn't it be?
That would require a major shift in how we hire and how we teach. But looking at the skills gap we have today, it might be exactly the shift we need.
It just might be.
Something to think about the next time you see volunteer at the top of a resume. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into NXT 2.0 and the future of work.
It was a pleasure.
See you next time.